previous lecture, we study about the we study about the Kepler's 3 laws of planetary motion, and we study the Newton universal law of gravitation. Then again I repeat these 3 laws of planetary motion. First one is the orbit of the planet is an ellipse with sun is at one of the focus point. Second one is the line joining from planet to sun, it sweeps equal area in equal interval of time. Then third one is t square is directly proportional to r cube. It means that the square of period of revolution of a planet around the sun is directly proportional to cube of mean distance of planet from the sun. Then we study the Newton universal law of gravitation. According to Newton universal law of gravitation, every object in the universe attracts every other object with a definite force whose magnitude is directly proportional to product of their masses and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. Then we derive the one formula, F is equal to G m1 m2 divided by d square. What is a G? What is F? F is the gravitational force, G is the gravitational constant, m1 and m2 are the mass of two objects, and d is the distance between these two objects. Then today's lecture we study 3 points. First one is uniform circular motion, second one is magnitude of centripetal force, and third one is inverse square law of gravitation. A very important question, what is the inverse square law of gravitation? Here, first point is uniform circular motion. This definition we already studied in our previous year. What is a uniform circular motion? Yes, look here. When the object is continuously moving, along the circumference of the circle with a constant speed, then it is called as such a motion of an object is called as a uniform circular motion. When the object is moving along the circumference of the circle with a constant speed, then this object is in a uniform circular motion. Then second one is magnitude of centripetal force. Here we assume that planet is revolving around the sun in a circular orbit. We know that in a Kepler's law of planetary motion, we study all the planet revolving around the sun in an elliptical orbit. But here we assume that, consider that the planets are revolving around the sun in a circular orbit. When that planet is revolving around the sun, or any object is revolving around the sun in a circular orbit, which forces act on that object? We already know, and we already studied in our previous lecture. When the object is moving along a circle, then which forces act on that object? Yes, that is a centripetal forces act on that object. Here on this planet, the centripetal force must get act. What is the direction of the centripetal force? Towards the center of the sun. Yes. Then here we derive the formula of inverse square law. What is the inverse square law of gravitation? Let's start the inverse square law of gravitation. Here, the magnitude of centripetal force is given. F is equal to mv square divided by r. F is equal to mv square divided by r. This is a formula for centripetal force. Here, m is the mass of the planet, v is the velocity of the planet, and r is the distance between sun and the planet. Now, here v is the velocity of an object. We know that the formula for velocity of an object, velocity is equal to displacement upon time. When the object is moving along the circle, what is the displacement of that planet? Displacement is equal to circumference of the circle. And what is the time required for that planet to move along a circular motion? That time is equal to capital T. That is a time period. Then here, call this equation number 1, call this equation number 2. Put this value of velocity in a force formula, that is a centripetal force formula. Then what happened? When we put that value, here v square is present, this whole values, when we put this value of velocity, then what happened? Here velocity is square, whole value square is present, 2 square, that is 4, pi square, r square divided by t square, and whole divided by r. Here r square and r, 1 r get cancelled. Then what happened? This constant term take at one side. Then here r and the t square, r upon t square is present. we know the Kepler third law of planetary motion, that is a t square divided by r cube is equal to constant. We studied in a previous lecture. Here r upon t square is present, and in this step we multiply and divide by r square. So that r square and the r become r cube, and we get the r cube divided by t square, and we take one constant instead of that. Then here multiply and divided by r square. Here r into r, it become r cube, and r cube divided by t square is present. We also know that the Kepler third law of planetary motion, that is t square divided by r cube is equal to constant. Then r cube divided by t square, it become 1 upon constant. Then put this value of r cube divided by t square, it become 1 upon k. Take this whole term is constant. Then we get one relation when f is equal to constant into 1 upon r square. Then instead of that, we can write as f is inversely proportional to 1 upon r square, and this is called as the inverse square law of gravitation. What is the inverse square law of gravitation? The centripetal force is inversely proportional to the square of distance from the sun and the planet. It is called as the inverse square law of gravitation. Thank you.